Hello, Chef Amelia. Welcome to Magical Martes. Alondra here from Chef Marketing. Welcome to Magical Martes. I'm so excited to do another episode of Magical Martes, and I hope everyone can hear me. If you don't know, every week we're covering an event or topic about our national convention happening in Orlando. We have already covered pre-college, SHPETinas, convention updates, and last week we did entrepreneurship. If you missed those, no worries. You can find them in our profile under IGTV or also in our YouTube channel. The goal of Magical Martes is to highlight conferences and tracks at a high level and give members that 411 in a forum where they can ask questions. Thank you for that, Will. This week we're going to be welcoming Luis Ramirez and Will Davis from the Diversity and Inclusion Committee, where they're going to be talking about SHPE's commitment to make this year's convention the most inclusive ever. So now I'm going to send an invite to Luis and Will to join. Hi, Will. Hi, Luis.
Hi, Alondra.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, thank you. Thank you so much for joining.
Of course,
It's been a
happy to
crazy
be
day
here.
over here.
If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, I'll go first, and then we'll let Luis introduce himself. So my name is Will Davis. I am coming to you out of Houston, Texas. So if you were watching the national news, you saw that we had a hurricane last night. So my internet is actually still out. So I've been having to use my phone all day as a hotspot. So thank you, technology. Lost a couple trees, but otherwise everything is good here at my place. Some people around here are still dealing with issues. I've been part of SHPE for 20 years. So I joined as an undergrad in 2000 and been involved in various different capacities. And just this past summer, exited the board of directors. But I'm also the founding chair of what was the LGBTQ track several years ago at convention that has now evolved into the D&I track that we're talking about today. So excited to talk to you about some of the new things that we have planned this year that we had to hold off on last year because of the virtual transition. So we're getting to try some new stuff out this year we're excited about.
And then I'm Luis Ramirez. I'm a software developer for General Motors. And I've been with SHPE for almost 10 years now, since 2011. I joined in my freshman year of university at Sacramento State University. And yeah, I'm excited to be here too and to help out Will on this inclusion track for SHPE Nationals.
Thank you so much. So the first question that I have is, what is the vision and objective of the diversity and inclusion workshops at convention?
Yeah, so one of the things that makes the D&I program a little different is it's both the content we deliver ourselves, but it's also how it touches all the other pieces. Because really, inclusion is not 1 hour a day. It's every action of every single day. And so we're working a couple things. But one of the we adopted a phrase, inclusion is as easy as ABC. And it comes down to awareness, belonging, and connection. So we're trying to make sure that there is knowledge so that people can include others in their spaces, learning about people with disabilities, learning about veterans, learning about everyone else. And the polos are available on the SHPE Mercado, in case you're wondering. We're trying to work on belonging. So we want to make sure that everybody feels that there's trust, there's psychological safety, that they can be authentic. Because when you feel all those things that everyone else feels them too, you know you belong. And we call it familia, but really that's what it's about. It's about belonging. And then the last piece is connection. So we're really trying to find ways to bring people together. For those who've been to convention, it's an experience unlike any other. 10,000 people in 3 days, and it's just ridiculous. And so to find a way to connect with those that you might share something with, it is a blessing. And so we're trying to figure out how to help people form those faster connections and build those relationships. And so it's as easy as ABC, awareness, belonging, and connection.
I love that, Will. I love the ABC. It makes it sound so simple, like just how it is. Is there going to be like any swag or stickers that attendees are going to get to be able to create an inclusive environment?
Say that again.
Is there going to be like any swag or stickers that attendees are going to get in order to create like an inclusive environment?
Yeah, we'll cover the speakers in a second, and I'll let Luis will talk a little bit about that, some of the things we're doing. But one of the big things that we're really excited about this year is we're rolling out, it sounds like something you'd for little kids, but we're rolling out a We Are SHIP sticker set this year for the first time. And so everyone's familiar with seeing name badges with ribbons on them at conferences, but this year we actually worked with graphic designers to come up with 20 unique stickers that everyone is going to receive as part of the registration bag, and you'll be able to apply those stickers onto your badge that highlight parts of your identity. So you'll be able to show off, of course, which region you're from, because we know that that's really important to SHIP, but also to show off that you're a first-time attendee, to show off that you're a chapter leader, to show off that you are a parent, to show off that you're a veteran, to show off that you're a first gen, and that your entire family is looking to you to be the one to walk across the stage for the first time. So we're really trying to find all these great things, whether you're a SHPETina, whether you're LGBTQ or an ally, but give you ways to quickly, visibly identify who are people that share something with you. So that's one of the cool things we're really excited about. It's taken some work to get there as well. Okay.
And then going back to the question about the speakers, we are going to have like a lot of diverse speakers coming from us, and we'll go over a little bit over what you'll be expecting from the tracks. But speakers will have all different kind of backgrounds. We'll have people from NASA, we'll have people from Capital One. We're going to have different people explaining their experience and all that kind of stuff.
Love that. Thank you for sharing. Are there going to be any networking events as part of the program?
Yeah, so that's actually that's the connection piece. That the ABC of the C part is the networking piece. And so we're actually hosting 2 hospitality suites this year. So we're hosting what's called the D&I Hospitality Suite, which is a new offering. We're going to be doing that one actually on Wednesday night. So if you want to be a part of that one, you need to get yourself to Orlando by Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon. We want to see you there. This one's going to be really cool because Northeastern University, the Corey College of Computer Science, is actually the sponsor for the event. And so they have a very diverse department of faculty and students working in computer science, and they're wanting to attract more diversity to their program. And so they're going to be bringing a whole bunch of different people from different walks of life, and we've been talking with them to make sure that everything, not just Hispanics, but Afro-Latin, Latin Asian, people who are queer, people who are straight, looking at all generations, really making sure that they bring a wide variety of individuals to, one, be able to connect, but also to exhibit and showcase what it is they're trying to do in their program. And so we're really excited to partner with them. And then on the second night, Thursday, we'll be hosting the LGBTQ SHIP Pride Hospitality Suite. And so that's something that started several years ago, and we've been doing that one every single year. And that's just a fun chance to network. So you get to come in, we usually have some food, we have some good music, and then we have a tradition of taking a group photo. And so that photo has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger every single year as more and more people show up. So we're really happy with that one. So we hope to see everyone at those 2 receptions if they're able to join us.
Love that. Looking forward for those 2 networking events. I have seen in the newsletters about a We Are SHIP campaign. Can you share more about the campaign and how members can participate in this amazing campaign?
Yeah. Luis, you got that one?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about that. So we want to know from the members why we are SHIP, right? I am SHIP, we are SHIP. What does it mean to us and to all of us, each individual? To me, we are SHIP means belonging, right? Knowing that I belong with my familia, knowing that I belong here, knowing that if I go anywhere in the country, I will know a SHIP chapter around and I belong with them. So to answer, so members can participate by submitting a video of exactly what I just did and just explaining what is We Are SHIP. We just, in a simple 30 seconds even that's too long, just saying why they are SHPE. It's going to be a small campaign, and we're going to be featuring it hopefully here with SHPE Nationals and showing it everywhere.
And to add on to that one, the reason we call it the We Are SHPE campaign is because of the new national chant. So everyone knows the regional chants, but we also have the national chant, which is Somos Familia, we are SHPE. Somos Familia, we are SHPE. And we is us. And so every single person contributes to the we. And so we're, again, trying to highlight everyone's individual identity and how it connects to the we. And so I talked about the sticker sheet earlier, right? That we're going to have all these awesome little graphics that I believe are available on IG already. So you'll have to tell us about that one, Alondra, shortly. But we're also going to have what's called the We Are SHPE wall, writable wall at convention, which will be a big display area featuring all the different graphics from the stickers. And so you'll be able to put a shout out, your name. If you want to bring a picture, you can tape it to the wall. But we want to show the richness that is present at the organization, because, and this is a personal thing for me, when I was a student, I did not see anybody out in the SHPE world. Yet I've learned since then that several of the SHPE presidents were actually LGBTQ, but it wasn't known or wasn't discussed, it wasn't broadcasted. And I think our organization understands that it's hard to be what you can't see, and it's important to have role models and people that, if I see someone out there who's living their life being successful professionally, then I know I can do that too. And so it's really important that whether you are LGBTQ, whether you're a SHPETina, whether you have a disability, all those things make you uniquely you, and you have a place, and we want to honor that place. And so that's why we're doing the campaign with the videos, is so that if you are someone that you think helps make others feel more welcome, then we want to showcase you so that other people feel that they can belong. And I see a question. What does We Are SHPE mean to you, Will? So I think I kind of covered that one, but it was this idea that we is built one person at a time. We want to make sure every person walks away with that special feeling, and that they become a SHPE lifer.
Mm-hmm. Love that, Will. Thank you so much for sharing. I know you guys already shared like a lot of things about the program, but what is like the most exciting part about the program?
I can answer that real quick. I think the most exciting part is that we go beyond the track. We don't just do a panel. We just don't do a workshop. We don't just teach you, but we express inclusivity throughout the whole thing. We have these new stickers. We have all these new sessions that we're collaborating with other tracks. It's just, we go beyond of what the track is meant to be. That's the most exciting part for me. And that's why I've been wanting to be the vice chair with this track. I want to really focus on that.
Yeah, and I think to Luis's point, and we talked about this earlier, that this isn't like the other tracks that are very much an isolated swim lane. We cross over a lot of different places. And so one of the things that we're doing is we're actually developing some resources that are going to reach across the conference. We're developing, I'm not going to call it a code of conduct, but we're developing guidelines for inclusive behavior to remind attendees, remind speakers, remind recruiters, remind everybody what are the kind of things that are expected when you come to a SHPE space. That we honor all identities, that we honor all truths, that we treat people with respect and dignity, that, all the things you learned in kindergarten is how you should be treating people. Treat people the way they deserve to be treated, the way they want to be treated. So we're going to remind people about that in the space. The other thing we're also doing is we're going to be providing a resource to all the presenters and exhibitors to talk about how to be more inclusive. And so we know there's a lot of sensitivity about documentation status in the Hispanic population. And some of the terminology that gets used unintentionally is hurtful. So we're going to try to tell people, use this word instead of that word. We have people who are gender fluid. So every time I hear a speaker say, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, that person just got excluded. That's gender fluid. And so all of these things, we're just trying to make people think a little bit more carefully. The other thing that we're also really excited about, and it's such a subtle piece, is for the first time this year, everyone will have their personal pronouns printed on their name badges. So in previous years, it was an opt-in kind of situation. This year, it'll actually be part of the standard print job on the badges. And so that's another step to remind people that you have to meet them where they are. In addition to cross-cutting, though, I also want to kind of emphasize that we've been working with a couple of the other tracks at the conference to help them develop their content. And in a few cases, we're actually partnering. So we've been working with SHPETinas a little bit on some of their content. We've had some conversations with the advisor track because they're also looking at a different perspective. The one that we're really excited about and is going to be the partnership with professionals in STEM. And so when you move into the professional environment, employee resource groups are the professional equivalent to student clubs like SHIP at the collegiate level. Hey, and Vanessa, Luis actually has a background in software engineering, so we're going to come back to that question. He can tell you a little bit about that one, okay? So we're bringing in a speaker. His name is Dr. Robert Rodriguez, and he is one of the preeminent subject matter experts in the country on Hispanic ERGs. And in fact, he has a book coming out. So if he has a book called Authentico, which a lot of people are aware of. He has another book coming out actually in October called Simply ERG Excellence. So he's going to talk about two things. He's going to be talking about, one, how to come up with metrics that matter so that you can demonstrate your ERG is successful, but actually is relevant to your corporation and is driving their profit. The other thing he's going to do is talk about how to use the ERG experience to accelerate your career and promote up, so that people understand it's helping the company grow, but it's also about helping you grow. So we're going to offer those two conversations on Saturday at the conference. And then we're also going to be giving away 100 copies of his book. And so he'll be available to sign those books himself while he's physically there. So we're really excited about that opportunity coming up. And then let's go back to that CS question. It's not really inclusion of D&I, but I want to make sure we acknowledge and make sure that Vanessa knows that she belongs. And so we're going to answer that question real quick.
Yeah, so I'm actually a software engineer, software developer for General Motors. And I actually was recruited during the national conference of 2016. I was in one of their competitions, and the recruiter was like, I want you to do an interview with me. And honestly, and I know General Motors is going to kill me later, but I did not want General Motors. It wasn't on my list. I thought that they were a mechanical company, but to my knowledge, they actually hired computer scientists, computer engineers, which is what I am. So once I became aware of what they had to offer and all that, then I applied, and that's how I ended up here 4 years later.
Yeah, and you think about that from so I do D&I full time now, and you think about exactly what Luis just said from a D&I perspective. How many times do we look at someone physically and make a judgment call based upon assumptions? Okay? And then you spend a little time and you learn a little bit more about them. And just like we need to be curious about each other as people, we need to be curious about companies and employers, because everybody does some really awesome stuff. And again, like we said earlier, it's as easy as ABC. This is all about awareness and connection, because if we can make people more aware of what's out there and connect you to the right thing, you will walk out from this magical experience with a big win.
Yes, and to add really quick, Vanessa, next week, the topic for Magical Martes is going to be competition. So for next week, we can learn more about the aspect of convention competitions. Does anyone else have any other questions? Yes, and I want to take Will and Luis for everything they shared. I learned so much during this IG Live, and I'm really excited for convention.
Thank you. Alondra, I have a question for you.
Yes.
What is We Are SHPE to you?
I feel like for me, We Are SHPE, it's a place where I feel comfortable. Like, I have always been an introvert, especially when I came to the US because of my thick accent. And like since SHPE, that was like the first time I became a leader and I had leadership positions. So for me, SHPE, it's a place where I can be a leader.
The last thing I think we're getting close to wrapping up because I don't see any more questions coming in, but I just wanted to say that part of the reason I'm engaged in SHPE is because I'm actually able to make contributions like starting this track and helping grow it. And so for all of you that are listening or watch this on a replay perhaps later, there are ways you can help own the space and contribute to it. And so, I think that's what We Are SHPE is about. We Are SHPE is not just honoring people, but it's also taking ownership of what we're creating, what we're co-creating together. And we need all the help. We want you to convert to a professional member. We want you to stay engaged as a professional member. We want to launch your career. Hey, cool, we got a question. Let's see. Age difference, like older, non-traditional female students, do we have any chance to get positions? So humans have bias, okay? There's just no way around that reality. We are biologically and psychologically designed to have bias in our brain. And when I hear someone say non-traditional, that means doesn't belong. And I don't think that's healthy, and I don't think that is something that we want to continue to perpetuate. I'm sure this population, this group watching, all have heard the phrase imposter syndrome. And if someone makes you feel like you don't belong, then you don't want to be in that space anyway. But if you make yourself feel like you don't belong, then that's something that you want to give a little thought to. And so to who asked the question, I would tell you that if I'm a recruiter and I've been recruiting at these conferences before in the past, I'm not looking at your gender. I'm not looking at your age. I'm not looking at your racial background. I'm looking at what you bring to the table, and do you make my team better? And so I'll give you a couple quick things to think about from a confidence perspective. They're going to look at you on a resume. And so if you upload your resume into the system, because that's how you get interviews, and the resume tells them whether you're qualified. I promise you this statement. If you get an interview, it's because they've already determined you are qualified to do the job. Because if you're not qualified to do the job, they're not going to waste their time interviewing you. So if you get an interview, don't walk in there saying, I don't know if they want me. I don't know if they're going to pick me. I don't know if I'm good enough. They've already decided you're good enough. What they're trying to figure out during the interview is, does your values and your work ethic and the way you do your work, does that match the kind of thing that they want in their workspace? And if you do match, then it's a no-brainer. So, think hard about what it is you want to do. Think hard about representing your achievements, because they are your achievements. It's not bragging, it's fact. If you've done great things, then be willing to talk about those great things. And don't let anyone tell you you're non-traditional or that you don't belong. Okay?
Thank you so much for that, Will. Thank you. So we're approaching the end of this Instagram live. Thank you so much, Familia, for joining the live. If you joined late, were not able to hear the beginning, no worries. You can find that IG live after this is over under our IGTV, and by the end of the week, it will be on our YouTube channel. Oh, we just got a question by Rosa. Is there going to be sessions on imposter syndrome?
So right now we don't have that as a planned topic. I can actually tell you what the topics are we're planning on right now. So we're looking at one which is called From Accessibility to Visibility, How to Create Inclusive Spaces for Everyone. We're planning another session called Authenticity and Belonging, the Foundation for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. And then we also have our third session, which will be focused on visibility and how to learn how to see the trans community. And then we also have several panel conversations that we're going to have. I'm trying to find the right slide that has my information so I don't mess this up. But we've got one, figuring out how to apply our power to lift up underserved communities, the kinds of communities that people have imposter syndrome sometimes in. We've got another panel talking about how to drive employee engagement, because we want to connect to not just the students, but also the professionals in the workplace. And if you're a supervisor, you want to have engaged employees, because that means you're more successful. And then the last one we're going to do on Saturday is one called LGBTQ Lessons Learned for Activating Allyship. And so we're going to look at what allies have done in the LGBTQ space so that we can explore how to be better allies to the Black community, the Asian community, especially in the past couple of years with Me Too and Black Lives Matter and Stop Asian Hate. We really want to make help people understand how they can be not activists per se, but better allies. And so I'd say imposter syndrome is something that'll probably crop up in a lot of those different conversations, but we're not going to have a dedicated session on that one specifically.
You hit on the point that I was going to make at the very end. That imposter syndrome is going to be shown throughout the whole thing. It's not something that's going to be specifically talked about, but yeah, it'll be mentioned here and there a lot.
And I'm sorry to hear that, Mova Coldfire. So doing the best I can to pronounce screen names.
If you have any other questions, please submit the questions, and I can give everyone around 30 seconds. If not, we can wrap up on this IG Live and give some important reminders. So I don't see any other questions. So some reminders. Please register for the National Convention. Early bird is coming up by the end of September. You can go to ship.org/2021, and in there you can find more information and how to register. And also next week we will have another episode of Magical Martes with competitions at the same time and same day, Tuesdays at 4 p.m. So we hope to see you there, familia. Bye, familia. Thank you so much, Will and Luis.
Nos vemos. Cuídense.